Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. I'm Spirit aka Sabythesimmer. I hope you're doing well this Thursday. This is my second time doing this voiceover. I wasn't happy with the first one. I was so confused. I'm gonna be confused what build I actually did. You'd think someone forced me at gunpoint to do a voiceover for a video I've never seen before. I was so confused. I was like, wait, the video doesn't end here? It ends like, I don't even remember what I did. I literally finished this build like the other day, so I don't have any excuse for why I was so confused as to what this build was about or what was happening. But yes, I don't have the photo that I use as a reference because I thought I saved it on Pinterest, but I did not. So I couldn't find it, and I didn't know where I found it originally. Actually, I don't. It could have been Pinterest, could have been like something I searched online. I don't even remember. But yeah, it's a base game build today. So we do have a base game build. It is a shell as well. So with the shells that I normally do, I just furnished the kitchen unit and also the bathrooms. So this house does have 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, 2 full bathrooms as well, downstairs and upstairs. There's a bathroom upstairs, there's a bathroom downstairs, and then the kitchen I kind of furnished. I just add in the basics. I don't clutter up the kitchen. I just add in counters, ovens, sinks, fridge, like what you would have if you moved in straight away, which I know in some places of the world some appliances aren't there when you move into a house, which I don't actually know, but usually here, like if you move into somewhere, there are normally appliances, at least an oven and a fridge possibly, or maybe an oven. But like, yeah, I didn't really think about it in other places of the world, but some other places in the world you would have to like buy that yourself before you move into somewhere. But it's interesting nevertheless. So yeah, that's how I normally do my shells, and I just decorate the outside, add in all the details for the gardens and things like that. So you can literally just have your sim move in and decorate as and when you want. Like if you're going from like a realistic gameplay, you buy a house for the first time, you're gonna have to buy furniture. If you really want to go realistic, you'd go into like a retail store in The Sims, maybe go to Magnolia Promenade, or maybe just find another like furniture retail store, go there, buy all your furniture, although it's actually more expensive doing it that way. Unless you maybe like, I know you can tweak the prices and get to work for like certain items and things like that anyway, so maybe you could find like a thrift store for furniture or something. That's a really interesting concept to think of actually. I've never played that through. Like with my family dynamics challenge, I did get him to go to like a furniture store that I just built like really quickly, and he basically like bought everything that was in one of the set rooms. There's like a living room set room, and I kind of based it on IKEA, even though I can't remember the last time I was at IKEA. It was years and years ago, but I kind of based on what I thought IKEA kind of looks like and like had rooms set up, and then he basically bought everything that was in that room, and that was his living room sorted. And pretty expensive, but I think if you could tweak it and like have a shop that's like low-end furniture or furniture that is a bit more used or whatever, it can really play into a storyline. So if you're into like realistic gameplay, you want your sims to feel like you've had to work hard for things, like these shells are a good way to go for that. Personally for me as well, like sometimes if I can't be bothered to build and I'm playing a household, I'll just download one of my own shells or someone else's shell and then furnish it however I want for the sim. So that's why I like doing shells, because you guys can just do whatever you want with it. You can even change the outside. You can maybe buy it as like a home that your sim renovates themselves, so you can add attachments to it. You can decorate the outside differently, like go crazy. But yeah, like I said, it is 2 bedroom 2 bathroom, but technically the bump out that I've got on the right is, I had in mind could be an office, but you can honestly have that as a smaller bedroom. It's not a huge space, but it's big enough to have maybe a single bed or even a double bed like pushed up against a wall. It could easily be a 3rd bedroom if that's what you wanted, but I kind of had in mind it was an office. But obviously it's not furnished, so you can do whatever you want with it. Also with the shelves, I always plan out the floor plans for you guys, so if the floor plan's done, you can obviously change it if you want. Floor plans are hard to do when like you don't have something to follow, but it takes some practice. Like I feel like I'm practicing to get better at it and being able to do floor plans without having to look at a floor plan, because I'm like, where does everything go? But after a while you get used to it. It's like, okay, living room, kitchen, you normally kind of group that together. Dining space, you'll probably have an area for that or whatever. Bathroom, normally closer to a kitchen, because you know, plumbing and stuff, if you go for realistic thinking. Like that's how I kind of do it. And my floor plans probably look very similar, because I kind of go for shapes and sizes of builds that I feel familiar to or comfortable even to do. And oftentimes I can't normally see the back of a build, so with the back I have to improvise. And what I find the easiest to do is just to copy the front layout to the back, because then you don't have to have 5 million different roof pieces like I've done. Like I've literally just used the same, I never remember what the roof pieces are called, but you know the triangle roof piece? I've literally just dragged it all the way across, because the back of the build looks the same as the front, and I don't have to worry about it. There are a few changes that I made once I started like fiddling around with the build and adding different things or whatever. So the back ends up being flat of this, the right bump out, the back ends up being just flat and not having that little bump out bit on the end. because it was just a struggle to figure out a floor plan. I know I wanted a toilet there, but it's like, how do I fit a toilet with like weird bump outs and stuff? Like, what do I do with that space? And because I was like, oftentimes if it feels like I'm just struggling to figure things out, I just go with what I know. I don't try and make it work. Because I was like, I tried, it didn't work. So I moved on and decided to just like have the back as like a flat bit of a wall, basically. Just a straight flat wall. And there's nothing wrong with that. It works. It does what it needs to do. And the floor plan works better that way. So I'm happy with it. And I think originally in not the floor plan, but like in the reference image, this right bump out could have essentially been a garage. I was about to say garage. Could have been originally a garage, and they could have been like a side entrance to it. But with The Sims, it's kind of hard to do side entrances to garages because of depending on where the lot is in the game, because some of the lots it's not realistic. It doesn't look like you could have a car drive like to that specific place where the garage is. So sometimes it really just depends on like if you're going for realism, if you want to build to look a certain way, whatever the case may be. But sometimes garages are a bit useless in The Sims. Sometimes they're helpful to have as like a skill building room or as a spare room or whatever. I kind of like when my Sims have a garage as like their room, like it's converted into their room. Like, I don't know why, but I kind of like that vibe. So I often don't mind garages. But yeah, with the front of the house, I didn't know what to do, for the terrain painting. So I ended up doing like a mowed lawn kind of effect. And what I didn't realize was, I don't think I've ever noticed this before, but I didn't realize terrain paints change color as well during the different seasons in the game. I feel like maybe I just don't use terrain paints enough to not notice that, but when it comes to like, screenshots and the photo I can see right now in the gallery, the grass looks brown. But it looks brown because it's terrain paints and it's actually changing with the season. But I don't think I've ever noticed that before. So I was a bit confused when I saw it and I was like, why is it brown? Why is it not green? So if you're in autumn, if you have seasons, then yeah, your grass is going to look brown. So the lines it doesn't look as polished as it's supposed to look. Like it's meant to look purposely done, and now it kind of just looks like you've got dying grass and grass that is clearly fake because one's dying and one's not. So yeah, I don't really like the way that turns out. But if you don't have seasons, you won't have to see that, so it'll be fine. But yeah, the rest of the house, the front of the house was pretty simple. I didn't add loads of detail to the front. I didn't know what to do. Like the house generally was quite a simple looking home, and like it's kind of hard to do really simple looking homes in The Sims because they either look really flat or boring, and I didn't want this to look boring, but at the same time I wanted it to look simple enough to just like maybe like a simple new build maybe. So I didn't want to add loads and loads of like random details to it and kind of make it look not realistic, but at the same time I didn't want it to look really boring. So it's weird trying to find a fine line between like boring and realistic and not being boring but also realistic. Like it's a weird one. But I ended up changing the windows as well because the front door, I never use any other swatch on that front door. I think I've probably used white, grey and black, and that's probably it. So I decided to go with the green door, but the frame around it is grey, like silver. So I decided to change the frames on the windows to silver or grey, whichever kind of tone it is, just to help blend it in a bit better. So I hope that kind of came across. I think it looks a bit better because sometimes white windows on like white walls and things like that, everything blends in too much. So just a little bit of detail there. And yeah, so we got the two main bedrooms upstairs. We've also got a bathroom upstairs as well, and then the bathroom downstairs, a little entryway to the office space, and the bathroom is kind of like sectioned off in their own space. And I did forget we do have a dining room as well. I don't know why I forgot that for some reason, but like the first voiceover that I did, I just totally forgot there was even a dining spot, so I didn't even mention that. So I'm glad I'm doing this voiceover again, even though I'm a bit like, why do I have to do the voiceover again? Like, I've been doing this for a while now. I should be better at this, right? But here I am struggling to do a voiceover. It is what it is. We move. But yeah, I kind of I've sectioned off the living room and the kitchen just a little bit with some walls and a spandrel. I ended up getting rid of the columns because I just felt like it looked too chunky and it didn't really add anything to the build. It just was in the way almost, and yeah, I wasn't a fan of it. So yeah, as you can see, I've added counters. I've got an island going there. You've got your fridge, your oven. You've got some cabinets as well, some storage. I put a bin in just to make sure you have your essentials. Even if you're saying moved in, they didn't even have a bed. Like, or you could just buy a bed. That's all you could afford was the house and maybe a bed. At least they can cook. They could do the things they need to do. They can live. They can survive. So I wish Sims could kind of sleep on the floor. I don't know why I would want my Sims to struggle that much, but like, say if you was going to go for a really realistic gameplay where this is the first home you bought, well, not the first time, but maybe you've been living the Rex the Richest style where whatever you can afford is the kind of home that you've built for yourself. But now you've built up a bit of money, you can afford to actually buy a home. And like this is kind of like the home you would buy, where it's like semi-furnished, bathrooms furnished and kitchens furnished. You've got the essentials in there, but you'd have to add in your own personality, your own details. But like you could sleep on the floor at least, or like you could sleep on a mattress, you know, something like that. I don't know why I like the feel of that, but probably can do. I'm pretty sure there's like CC that's probably related to that, or mods or something. But I think it'd be pretty realistic. So this is the downstairs bathroom. So it's only a small one, but I feel like my bathrooms are always small. I don't really make large bathrooms because half the time I'm like, what do you put in a bathroom that's so big? Unless it's like a grand bathroom where you would probably put like maybe a little chair or something. I don't know. And also in my shelves, I don't normally add so much details and stuff, but I kind of liked the idea of it feeling like you just could change this however you want, or it just feels a bit more lived in. So feel free to change it, feel free to get rid of it, keep it really like clear and empty so that you could decorate it how you want to, or make it feel like it's like freshly moved in, so just like everything's clear. So feel free to do that if you want. And I do show you actually the second bathroom upstairs as well, and I show you the hallways because it is a shorter video today. I didn't realize that I kept all that footage in, so I ended the the first voiceover. I ended it, and then I was watching the rest of the footage. I was like, oh, there's still more to go. There's more to go. I was like, wow, okay, get back to the drawing board. So we are back to do it again. But yes, I find it really weird if that bathtub combo thing is like just in the middle of the room and there's nothing really separating it. So that's why I did the platform and also did the wall there, because in my mind I kind of felt like that shower tub combo thing is more of a built-in thing as opposed to something that just stands alone. So that's why I kind of put the wall there, just a bit of realism, just a little bit. And then just cluttered up the counter space with a sink and added in little details. This feels like a very much like a family friendly home. This bathroom feels like, yep, there's a bunch of kids using it, or just like parents and their children or whatever using it, or maybe grandparents or something, I don't know. So yeah, I thought it was a little cute bathroom. It has all the essentials, all the necessities. Whew, that was a hard word to say. And everything you need to keep your Sims fresh, clean, happy, and with a healthy bladder. I don't know why I had to add that, but yeah. And then I move on, I believe, to the downstairs hallway. I work my way up for some reason. So I think I work on like the downstairs little hallway, and then, well, not the hallway, the entryway. And then there's the little section between the bathroom downstairs and the third room, or the office space that's downstairs. That little corner, I just added like a table or something. And I think a lamp. I was going to say a candle, but it was a lamp. I'm pretty sure it was a lamp. And then, yeah, I work on the top landing, and that's pretty much how the video ends. I didn't want to, like, I just added curtains to all the spare rooms that were open, unfurnished, sorry. And I decided, because obviously it's just a base game build, I couldn't use the Desert Lux, like, curtain rod things, because those things, I'm obsessed with them. I'm going to use them in every single build. But, I couldn't use them in this build, obviously, because it's base game only. And, also, side note, I didn't know if the stairs would work if there's stuff underneath it. For some reason, I always thought it caused problems, but it didn't cause any problems at all, so I was happy about that. But yeah, I ended up using just a standard shelf on the windows to kind of make it seem like it's a curtain rod. And when I went into live mode to kind of like see the build and playtest everything and make sure everything was okay, there's not loads of playtest, but you know, just make sure all the Sims can walk upstairs, go into the bathrooms, use the appliances, all that kind of stuff. It worked fine. It kind of looked like the curtain and the shelf were not attached, so I had to like move it myself again. But the version you get on the gallery is the one where I've actually seen everything and moved everything and adjusted everything. So I do like to make sure now that I play test it, then upload it to the gallery and not the other way around, because yeah, I did upload like a little registry office the other day for Copperdale, and a Sim couldn't get up the stairs, and I was so annoyed. So when I had to go and like play test it, I was like, I've already posted it up to the gallery and the stairs don't even work, so I had to delete it and then re-upload it with like me adding. I just ended up adding the stairs outside, because for some reason I just couldn't figure out what the problem was as to why they couldn't walk up the stairs. I could teleport them up and my Sim could walk down the stairs, but they couldn't walk up. So I was very confused as to what was in the way, or what was the cause. So I just ended up putting the stairs outside and it works fine. But you'll see that in the next episode of the Family Dynamics Challenge, so we won't worry about that. But yeah, guys, if you want this build, it is up in the gallery. My gallery ID is Sabythesimmer. And if you like this video, please do give it a little like. I'd really appreciate it. And subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you Tuesday for a new video. Take care, guys. Bye!